Do we know that the Bears are in love with Justin Fields? This whole idea we talked about earlier in the show, him coming around in the passing game, we're all assuming it. I think we all think Justin Fields is the quarterback of the future. But if you have the number 1 overall pick, again, this is just a total hypothetical, and just to warn you here, this trade is not based on any past trade that's actually happened. But you have the number 1 overall pick. You're Ryan Poles. Remember, you did not draft Justin Fields. What if there's a world in which Ryan Poles just loves Bryce Young?
Mm-hmm.
Loves Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
Loves Bryce Young. And now here's a phone call.
Yep.
It's Joe Douglas in New York. At the New York Jets. The Jets, boy, they wish they had drafted Justin Fields, right?
They sure do.
They have some regrets about what they've done. They have a good team, good defense. They got some wide receivers that are exciting. And they've fallen apart here late because their quarterback situation fell apart. So Joe Douglas gives you a little phone call here and presents this trade scenario. They are giving up their 13th overall pick and Quinnen Williams, who is entering the 5th year of his rookie deal with the 5th-year option. Eventually, they're going to have to pay him. They love him. He is your 3 technique you need on defense. They want Justin Fields. So you are essentially drafting a quarterback at number 1 instead. You're getting your 3 technique, and you still get your 13th overall pick.
No.
In exchange.
Yeah, no. No chance.
Oh, the chat is upset.
I don't think it's crazy, though, but I also feel like this offense is being tailored to Justin. And so if you get rid of Justin, then you start back from square one with this offense. And I don't like that. I think for factors even outside of Justin, this isn't a good idea.
I think it's a super interesting conversation, like, to Adam's scenario. Like, what happens if Poles, like, is sitting there, CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, whoever, he thinks this dude is going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, whoever you want to name. Okay. And you've got the number 1 pick. You can do it. It would be massively unpopular, but it would be the biggest swing that he could possibly make. I am going to trade Fields.
That's the ultimate, bet on yourself.
This
better pan out.
I'm betting on my evaluation, which is real scary, and I would not recommend it. Yeah. But sometimes you got to take really big swings in life, and I don't think no one thinks it's going to happen. I don't think. But I've been calling around to people, and I'm asking, what do you think has more value? I'll ask the same question, Carmen. I've asked Adam. What do you think has more value, the number 1 overall pick in this draft and or Fields?
I think Fields to the Bears or in general?
No, in general.
That's actually a question we were talking about in here before you guys got here today, which was because I was trying to figure out what the value for Justin Fields would be. And I really struggle with that. And I understand everyone's upset in the car. I wouldn't do this trade either, guys. Settle down.
Yeah.
This was in response to Carm bringing up, which I think is a question that's worth coming up from time to time. I don't think it's stirring up controversy. I just think we don't know how sold they are on Justin Fields.
We don't.
I think they are.
We know
I think they've hitched their wagon whether or not they're sold.
Which is also fair. But I was trying to come up with, okay, what would the value be? And then I started thinking about what Quinnen Williams' value is. Like, if you were just to want to trade for Quinnen Williams, he's probably worth the first-round pick. He was number 3 overall pick a few years ago. He's 12 sacks this year as an interior
lineman, yeah.
D lineman. He's insane. Like, he's really good. And so... Like, if you gave up what you gave up for Khalil Mack, yes, it's not an edge rusher, so he's probably not worth that much. But we're talking about him being the value of a first-round pick.
I get it. The problem with that trade for the Bears, though, is that I'm assuming you're saying that he's willing to sign and stay here, right?
Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same thing over there. I guess you'd have 2 years to evaluate Fields,
and
3 including the 5th year
option. You're gonna have to pay people, and they have the money to do it. But it's like you have so many holes that I just want a ton of draft picks and get cheap players and fill in around and see where I'm at in a year and spend a little more aggressively a year from now. I hope they bank a ton of their dough we'll see how they do it. That's going to be a very disciplined.
Yeah.
I would think a hard way to go about it, but I think it's probably their best way.
I don't know. Well, I mean, if you're talking in general, what's more valuable than Justin Fields, or which one is more valuable?
Yeah.
I don't know that Justin Fields has shown the rest of the league that he is worth the number 1 overall pick. Like, that's why I wanted to clarify, because like to the Bears, I think he means more.
Yeah.
But I think in general, probably not.
Let's take the Bears side out of this for a second.
Okay.
If you're the Jets, what
would you rather have?
No. Just what would you give up for Justin Fields? That's the question. So you're giving up 1 first-round pick this year for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's 3
Next
number
year's
ones.
first?
I think it's 3.
3 number 1s.
No.
Like, that's where I don't know.
No.
I understand Bears fans are so excited. What does the rest of the league think?
Right. You have to, because you, again,
Zach Wilson threw for way more yards against the Lions than Fields did a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
and you have to,
Don't do
again,
that.
create an entire offense around Justin Fields' skill set, which I think is a good skill set. And because I think that's the future of the league is these dual threat quarterbacks. But like, that means that you're starting all over with your offense too.
Correct. But you're not exactly, we're not 10 years down the road here. We're 1 year into a massive rebuild.
Yeah.
So it would be a reset, and it would. None of this is happening. They are just
Okay, well, the first 4 were somewhat realistic.
Yeah.
3 of which have actually happened before. And then I threw in this 5th one because it's a conversation that
if
you've had off air with me all week.
Yeah, if I had to bet on what the Bears are going to do with their whatever draft pick they get, I'm going to bet they trade out of it. If I had to bet on it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that would, especially because there's already precedent for that with Ryan Poles doing what he did last year.
Yeah.
Granted, he didn't have as much to work with, obviously, but I think that he knows how many holes he has to fill, and if he can get good value, then he trusts his evaluation process, then he's going to trade down and get more picks.
And I
speed this thing up.
I've called a lot of people, not a lot, but a handful, 3. That who follow the NFL, who are who live, eat, sleep. All they want to do is watch football, talk football, People who what do you think has more value? Fields are the number 1 pick. I don't know. It's close. It's awful close.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's a compliment to Fields.
You say this isn't realistic. I think that's probably the case from Ryan Poles' standpoint, but. If you're Joe Douglas, like these conversations happen all the time in the offseason. Like if you're Joe Douglas, is this something that you might actually throw out there just in conversations?
I mean, I don't think anything's off the table for the Jets, just given their the last few years of them trying to find a quarterback and failing miserably.